Three, two, one. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash, and here is today's comic, The Marauders, #1. I still can't get over the choice of using this name for an X-Men comic. If you've been an X-Men fan as long as I have, this is the most ridiculous name to just make an X-Men comic. The Marauders were a group of an X-Men villain group that murdered mutants. Like, they're just mass murderers. They're kind of the equivalent, especially when you consider today's day and age. If those books would have come out today, it would have been extremely topical, because the Marauders gunned down people. They were massive gun violence. They murdered all the Morlocks. The idea that the X-Men would take their name seems stupid to me. It's a cool sounding name for some pirate X-Men, I guess, but it's just almost like nothing matters at Marvel. Just, it doesn't really fit, but the name sounds cool, so continuity, schmontinuity, who gives a crap? And then we got this cover, which I hate. Kitty Pryde looks like a little girl. I never understood this idea of making Kitty Pryde a leader of the X-Men. She's the youngest of the X-Men. I think she joined at age 13. So if we fast forward to today, X-Men is in year 10. That would put her, theoretically as old as 23, but she didn't join the X-Men for years. So maybe it's only been 5, 6, 7 years. So that might make her like 19, 20 years old. And she's the leader of the X-Men team. But again, the editorial staff doesn't understand. They don't care. Kitty Pryde was made a leader purely for ideological reasons. I think she was probably one of the only female X-Men who hadn't led the team yet. And of course, that we can't have that. Here she's drawn like she's 16 years old. So at least that's physically accurate. I don't like also, look at Emma Frost. I know Emma Frost at least has been on the X-Men for a while. But Pyro is clearly an X-villain. Pyro... Moira McTaggart should be having horror, just traumatic experiences of Pyro burn her alive slowly. Do we not remember this? But now he's part of the X-Men. Hey, just come on. We're all friends here. You're a mutant, so nothing matters other than our racial alliance. So, starting off the book, not long ago in Central Park. What is it again? It's a gateway to Krakoa, a safe haven for all mutants, an island nation just for us. From this day on, there will be no future in which mutants are hunted to extinction. Not anymore. This is what we do. Bring mutants home. Be brave, young mutants, and leave your old life behind. I can't believe this is real. Believe it, mein friend. On Krakoa, you will love and be loved. See you on the island, says Kitty as she's walking to the gateway. Bam! Smacks right into it. Ooh, gas. Kitten! What the hell? And again, look at this face. This is like the face... Well, actually, this looks like my almost spitting image of my friend's daughter. My buddy, and she's 10 years old. Oh, and of course she cusses. And she's like, what the... Now, I've walked into glass doors before. I'm sure most of us have had this experience. And, it's smarts. This looks like she crashed into it at full speed. It's like broken nose, black eye. This is a little bit ludicrous to me. And then we get the white pages. Ahoy, muties! And, when Jonathan Hickman did it, he sold me on it, because Jonathan Hickman has a lot of information to impart to the user. and he wants to do more than what the comic can do. And it made sense as I was reading House of X and Powers of X. And at first I was grumbling, I don't want this. But then I realized, you know what? I don't want a 50-page story arc of lots of exposition. Just this is stuff that the reader needs to know. But man, it would just be tough and grueling to get through if he was actually putting it in the story. Here it's just, well, that's what House of X, Powers of X did, so let's do it too. And there's no real point. It starts off just trying to be cute and funny. It shows us, this part I guess has a point, at least shows us who's a part of this team. Apparently Wolverine is. Is Wolverine on every team? That's what I want to know. Oh, here's the credits. And then we get another white page. Top secret, eyes only access, naval intelligence. And this is where you realize things on this book aren't going to go that great. Subject, evidence located from recent observation of international waters surrounding Krakoa. Notes, the recovery of Flotsam has only yielded one confirmed piece of intel directly traceable to a Krakoan. The mutants don't litter much. Of course they don't litter much. They're perfect beings. They don't resort to petty misdemeanors. So far, the lone exception is a message in a wine bottle from Captain Kate Pryde, a.k.a. Shadowcat, a.k.a. Sprite. The recovered bottle is being sent to U.S. AMRID for genetics and forensics. Message as follows. Day 1. I, Kate Pryde, being a sound mind, steal this boat from you. Sorry, I promise I'll try to have someone return it back to the slip in San Diego. I went to a sailing summer camp as a kid and loved it, so she's in good hands. Day 2. I'm the captain now. So, right away this book starts off, and Kitty, because she's a mutant and she's better than the rest of us, just steals someone's boat. Great. Heroes. I love these X-Men. They're all heroes. And apparently we're just supposed to forgive her because the X-Men can do whatever they want, right? They're apparently marginalized people, and marginalized people are allowed to just get away with stealing from others. I mean, she stole from I'm sure it was from a human anyway, right? All that privilege that human had. I'm not even going to read the rest of those stupid journals. So she spends 6 days on the high seas in her stolen boat with her dragon, and we get, oh, so silly Billy. Oh, look, oh, killed a bird. Oh, thanks, Lockheed. And then Kitty realizes a seagull must mean it's somewhere in this haze. Wow. Whoop. Full page spread of a cliff of Krakoa. This is actually a pretty good shot. Hello, Krakoa. What did I do to piss you off? And then we see all of her friends coming out of the gateways that she's not allowed to use. Oh, hey, friends. Yes, I made it just fine, thanks. No, it's so good to see all of you, too. Oh, no, they're leaving the gateways. That's right, I'm sorry. And so she's just, left all alone. Maybe I have to leave before I can... Son of a... So she can't go through the gateway, and then this little kid taunts her. I heard about you. You're the mutant that can't use the gates. And you're the kid everyone wants to fight. Oh, God. This is like an anime or an anime/manga trope. And it just, no, don't try to insert this stuff into Western comics the way this is done. Anyways, then we get a silly little joke about, oh, welcome to Mutantkind, says Bobby Drake, where the party never stops. Still can't get used to the gates, huh? No, but I've been sure top men are on it. I'd like to meet these top men. Me too, Bobby. Did you get it? And again, boom, boom, psh. And double meaning of the did you get it? Basically, it's like a joke, but it's actually Wolverine saying, you got it all right. Yes, Logan. And he swims out to the boat because apparently he's a big alcoholic, and he's got to get his keg of beer and his whiskey and all this stuff. And then we get, oh, look, we got a white page that shows Logan's shopping list. He wanted ribs and a Canadian Club whiskey and suds, which is beer, and then Cubano sandwiches. Apparently, you like sandwiches that are a week old. Because, what? Pomade and some coffee. Trying to get until coffee can be grown on the island, which you can't do right now, apparently. And apparently, you can't get food and stuff through these gateways. You can literally teleport to almost anywhere you want, but you got to have... Does anyone even thinking when they're writing these books? And so we get Bobby and Kitty, blah, 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 bantering stuff. And he's like, if you ever get hungry, everything on this tree is edible and really delicious. And then Kitty's just like, I'm good. He goes through the gate. Show off. Kate, would you step in my office? Says Emma. And then Emma has a psychic meeting with Kate, who rolls along with her in a psychic apparition. That's silly. So Kate is taken, I hate calling her Kate, by the way, to a slip where Emma presents her with the new boat that the Hellfire Trading Company wants her to be the captain of, so that they can go and, abduct mutants, essentially. She says the Hellfire Trading Company... God, there's so much blather here on this page. Only some of the humans took our generous offer, Catherine. Those that recognize us are entitled to our life-sustaining drugs, but mutants must also set the price for the black market to have a stable world economy. Oh, so now the world economy is set by the mutants and their black market drugs. Great. So they steal boats from people when they need them. They're drug dealers. They encourage black markets. What else do these guys do? I mean, these mutants are so much superior to human beings. Oh, God, they're so more involved. Shipping corporations were often ruthless slavers. Our organization will proudly defy that horrific history. We will be liberators. Oh, geez. Of course they will. Of course, because everyone's slaved in the modern world. There are mutants across the globe that cannot access the gates. In North Valnon, the hell's is that supposed to be North Korea? But because you're a bunch of liberals writing this book, you actually can't call them North Korea because you don't want to piss off the dictator you guys idolize. So stupid. He that runs the country has cordoned off the entrance to Krakoa. Why wouldn't he just destroy the entrance? Why would you just allow it to sit there? In other places, humans are already doing all the predictable things they do. Anti-mutant organizations, militant factions, and gene-based cults, most of them dedicated to human supremacy. This is just so ludicrous. This idea, this is not how the X-Men ever were portrayed until recent times. There were hateful groups of humans that were bigoted towards mutants because humans and mutants, which are a branch off of humanity, have a tendency to be bigoted. It is part of our psychological nature. In fact, the mutants themselves in this book and all of the new Hickman X-Men reboot and everything have been portrayed as the biggest of bigots. They look down on humans pretty much the same way Germans look down on Jews. Like, the roles have reversed. The X-Men used to be an analog for the Jews, and now they're an analog for the Third Reich. So they talk about several gates, can't be blah, 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 blah. Do you want to be the captain? And she's like, oh, Aurora said no, huh? Oh, before I could finish my pitch. But darling, you'll be Grant. So Kitty is not even the first choice. So right away, the main leader of this book that we, the reader, are supposed to be like, yay, I'm a big Kitty. We already know that she's not even the first pick. It was actually Storm, doesn't want to do it. And then we're going to find out that Storm goes along anyway. Meanwhile, they go into Russia and they illegally invade a sovereign country to abduct citizens from this country using a gate that, I don't know, look at this. It's sitting here at this dock. Like, So do they even, does the writers, do they even understand how their own ideas work? You have to go physically plant the seed, according to everything that I've been shown and told in these books, before the gate will operate. Then once the seed is there, then you can go back and forth. We saw this in X-Men #1. The X-Men couldn't just make a gate grow on the Stardammer ship. They had to physically give Corsair, "Here, Dad," said the Summers brothers, "here's a plant we gave to you, grow it, and then you can use the gate." So, according to this, some mutants went to this dock, grew this gate. The Russian military sat there, looked at it, and was like, "Hey, cool, there's this gate, and it's growing all over our structures, and we'll just let it sit here and not burn it." So then Bobby comes through, and he's a total goofball, and he's still eating his turkey leg or whatever. And then it's like, we get some try to wannabe Spider-Man banner. "Hi, I'm Iceman. I'm from Krakoa. Just looking around for my fellow mutants." "Where are we exactly?" "Wow, you can smell the vodka in the air, huh?" "Russian mutants have no interest in going to your new nation." "Huh? What are all the guns and tanks for then?" As he still chews and whoop, look, silly Billy. "Oh, you really told them, Bobby." "Mutants either serve the state or get crushed like the small, insignificant people you are." And then wham, he hits him with his power armor thing, and it turns off. Oh, look, it turned Bobby naked. Wow, I wish you would have mentioned that was power dampening armor. "Is all yours," he says to the troops, and then Bobby darts away. Oh shit! And just barely gets away. "I almost just died." And then, it's a big joke. "Working or playing? I'm serious." "Hey, you got a situation with some aggro Russians and we can't go back that way? They got some kind of knockoff Iron Man suit that deep sixes our mutant powers. I want to fight some aggro humans. Iceman, get in my boat." Kitty Pryde's drunk. I don't even know if we've just talked about she's probably not even legal drinking age. Hey, but what the hell? What the hell? This is Marvel Comics. We don't care about moral ideas or anything. Wait, we're going in a fight in that? "Storm, when was the last time you went sailing? Iceman and I could use the wind at our backs." "Kitten, does Logan know you're into his stash?" "Aurora, I am the stash." "Do not believe mutant lies." So we go to Taipei in Taiwan, and of course we've got the leaders chanting about how mutants are so bad, because everywhere in the world humans just think mutants are bad. This is the ideology that the progressive left, who writes pretty much controls Marvel and puts inserts in all the books, needs to make sure that, this isn't just a group of radicals that are racist. Like the KKK or the Black Panthers. There's always groups of radicalized people, but there hasn't been in, I don't even know, has it been in human history where an entire world of people or a whole nation of people were that bigoted? It just doesn't make sense. And if there's tens of millions of mutants, that means these mutants are the children of humans, right? So that doesn't make sense either. It doesn't make sense to me that there would be this level of racism towards mutants, because they're just our evolutionary offspring. They're just us evolving, which is something I look around and I think of the world I live in reality. That's something most people embrace. This idea, if we're evolving into, whether or not you believe in creation or evolution, if we're evolving, that's not a bad thing. We're not like, "Oh my God, you don't have wisdom teeth? Lynch him!" It's like, no one does things like this. But in Marvel Comics, because they absolutely want to make it an analog for racial prejudice, and they want to speak out against the horrors of the white man, who are just enslaving the world, by the way. that they write this ridiculous and completely not nuanced or subtle in any way analogy. It's just so on the nose. And then we get Bishop. I'm trying to recall. He looks like a professional athlete that I'm struggling to remember. I look at that face, I'm like, oh my god, that looks exactly like. And then I can't remember his name. Anyways, your words are worthless, mutant. Everyone just in the Marvel universe, you can't say the word mutant without spitting. You just mutant. That's what it should be. Everyone, look at these people. Just everyone, you're a mutant. You wouldn't know that Bishop is a mutant, but and then look, they're on the waves. And then we got Pyro, who, remember, murdered Moira McTaggart. I know, not in this life. Well, probably in a previous life, but then they brought him back. Oh, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Pyro's one of us now. It's all good. So they're now going to go back to Russia because they got to get all the mutants that are being enslaved. And they show up, and the armor appears to convert energy. Your cult is not welcome in Mother Russia. Ah! Not so tough without your powers, are you? And then Kitty Pryde's here to show him what's up. Not so tough without your suit, are you? Oh, Kitty, I'm good. At least I think so. Halt! And then we get to see Kitty Pryde whooping all sorts of ass, which is kind of cool. I would like to see the whole ninja training thing that she went through, like, be more told and fleshed out. But it's kind of cool that she can fight, and her powers would be wicked badass for being a ninja, or just being a hand-to-hand combatant. As we can see, no one can really lay a hand on her, and then she, all 90 pounds of her, she's kicking armored dudes that they probably would just laugh that off. But anyways, so she's got a gun. She's like, I take it you're using non-lethal rounds against civilians? Fuck you, mutie. Blam! She shoots him. Nope. How unfortunate for you. Okay. So, the same ideological group that's writing this book is the same ideological group that needs to take all of the guns away from people in the United States, because guns are evil and anyone that has guns is bad and it causes all these people. But when the mutants use the guns, notice she's shooting a dude who's unarmed for saying fuck you. All he did was say fuck you or screw you. I don't know what she said because they just deal with the little symbols. I'm assuming it's fuck you. And then she shoots him. Yeah, but Ash, it was only in the knee. Oh, let me shoot you in the knee and cripple you for life. How's that? I'd rather you shoot me in the head and I'd be dead. It just glorifies this double standard that the X-Men can go around and act like complete jack-offs, and then judge the world. Who, this guy is just a soldier. He's just following the orders. And he's been told that these mutants are the enemy. And you are invading. You are in Russian territory. You're a military group with powers on foreign soil invading. And then you're shooting unarmed people, and you have the audacity to think of them as the bad guys. So this officer tries to stop her. Nice sword. Whoa. Forget about what a bullet can do to a body. Have you seen what a gun can do to it? So Kitty phases the gun into these guys' legs. I'm sure that's crippling both of those guys now for life. And she turns around and goes, seriously? As a tank rolls up. Hey, you, consider your options. And it tries to run her over. Fine. She phases in, deep breath, and she takes the pins out of, I'm assuming these are just gas, like tear gas grenades, which, again, non-lethal stuff, tear gas, like, but, you know, and so the other guy's still trying to take her down. I really like that sword. You can take it from my dead body. I don't want to kill you, but I want you to know, badam, thud, that you lost a fight. Oh, good for you, Kitty. You have magical powers. He's got nothing. But you showed him he lost a fight. And, you know, kick him in the... Why don't you kick him right there? Yeah, kick him while he's down to teach him a lesson for defending his country from foreign invaders. God, what an evil son of a bitch. You really showed him. Oi, we got the more I can't do the accent. We got more Yabos inbound. Got a light I can nick? Dude, you are wearing flamethrowers on you. What is going on? Why do you need a light? Lockheed. Roar! Haha, all right. Again, this is something right out of manga. He's wearing flamethrowers. Why do you have this suit? Sorry, I'm yelling. Dragon fire. I got a fucking... I don't even know what that's trying to say. Fistful of dragon fire. And he burns these people. He burns them. Alive. Why? For defending their country. You invaded them, and they had the audacity to stand up to you, and now they're burning alive. Oh, but they're humans. They're the bad guys. We got to remember this. Humans are evil. Of course, remember, you audience, you're reading this book, you're all human. Not a single one of you listening to this are a mutant. You are on the side. You are evil. You should be burned to death too. You guys should go through the gate back to Krakoa. I'll get back on the boat. What's the rush? Maybe we can stop somewhere fun. We came together and we shall leave together. So Kitty still can't go through the gate. Oh no. Thank you, says these English-speaking Russians. They were going to ship us out to the Gulag. Oh, for fuck's sake. No, they weren't. There's no Soviet Union anymore. No, there's no Soviet... No. Oh, we'd never stand for that. Keep recording, says Kitty. If you're a mutant and you can't get to Krakoa, then the Marauders will bring you home. Look at that silly... Oh, God, this made me groan. So, meanwhile, in the captain's cabin, Kitty Pryde's making a flag, doing some stuff. I can't live on that island, Storm. I know. I figure I didn't need to explain myself to my claustrophobic friend. I don't love the name Marauders. So here, we get the author, through the character, recognizing that the name is dumb. But still, no matter, we're going to use it anyway. Is Kitty Pryde going to have a good argument for why? No. She says, I was on the spot, and I don't know if the X-Men will want to be associated with what we have to do. If I stay out here a while, will you stay with me? We turned the world upside down so quickly, and so many of our people are trapped in hostile territories. How could I turn my back on them? How could I turn my back on you? Thank you, my friend. I am with you, but you deal with Emma. I want no part of her. So Kitty psychically contacts Emma and says, the answer to your proposition is yes. And we get to see him posing in front of the Marauders flag. Literally, pirates are criminals. Oh, darling, you've made me so happy. Emma, of course, is criminal. Where are we going, Kitty? Bobby, who's actually an original X-Men before even Storm, following this teenager. Anywhere we want. And do me a favor. Call me Kate. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. Grown. And that is the Marauders. And then we get some Sinister Secrets, which is actually the best part of this book. I like these Sinister Secrets. They aren't quite as well done as the Hickman ones. At least these might be written by Hickman for all I know, but they're not in the House of X, Powers of X ones, but they're cool to give you some foreshadowing into what may be going on. I really like that. Then we got, here's the reading. Every week you got to buy an X-Men book if you want to follow this whole thing. So that's it. Look, this book, honestly, as much as I'm trashing on it, wasn't that terrible. It was just utterly mediocre, right? For myself, for my personal subjective reaction, this is like a 2-star book. It was annoying to read. I don't like some of these things, but I recognize that's my particular taste, right? There's going to be some people who just embrace the idea of Kitty Pryde being a leader of the X-Men, or embrace that Pyro, Pyro's so cool, I'm glad he's part of the X-Men. And that's your subjective reaction. That's different. I'm recognizing that I think it's stupid, but just because I think something's stupid doesn't actually make it stupid. Now, objectively, I think the book's writing kind of falls apart. I point out that it doesn't even seem to understand its own, the laws of the world that are, it's created. It does some really bad things. It's writing a group of characters that are ostensibly, we're supposed to look at them as heroes, but they act villainous all the time. Now, they don't act villainous in the way that they're just like, Mr. Burns on The Simpsons with the little fingers, or the Emperor Palpatine, that sort of, I'm evil. Like, they're not this diabolical type of villain that's obvious, but they're just villains straight up with their actions. Now, clearly, they believe what they're doing is right. So they're like, yay, they're acting like, yes, we just did something moral and just, as we burn people alive for no reason, or I just shot them in the knees for saying, fuck you to me, so I'm invading their country. Like, they act like Antifa. They're so justified in their mind that as they like burn the city down, like Antifa, that's fine. It's all in the name of righteousness. It's really sad, the stuff that I'm reading. Now, some people are going to like this. Apparently, people like social justice warrior X-Men. I don't. This is not a book for me. Objectively, though, I think it was actually in some ways better than X-Men #1 because there was a coherent story. I didn't like the story. There was a lot of flaws in it, but it actually had a plot and things happened and it cared, even though it made me frustrated. The art is better. I mean, I don't like that Kitty... Actually, I do like that Kitty Pryde looks this young. I don't like that she actually is this young and she's leading the X-Men. I wish she was just a young girl. That's part of what made Kitty Pryde's charm, was her being the youngest of the X-Men and seeing the X-Men through the eyes of that innocence. She was our gateway into that perspective. Trying to age her up and change it takes away from that character, and we already have other characters that fill that role. I would like to see her just be, a 19-year-old girl who's still experiencing life and still learning things. And I don't think that they're trying to force her into being something different is fitting for the character. It's not necessary. I would be just as happy, honestly, this would make more sense if Storm actually was the leader here. She's led the X-Men in the past. It doesn't make sense that she's on this team and not leading. The whole reason she led the X-Men in the past is because Scott Summers was failing. And she was like, I'm not going to tolerate the X-Men not having a good leader. So she challenged him, not because she was like, I want to be leader, because it was like, dude, Scott, you're not up to the job. And Scott was like, yes, I am the leader. So it's like they fought for it, and she beat him. And Scott had to like walk away, eat a slice of humble pie, and he eventually came back, and it was all for the good. It was all good character development. She would step up here as well whenever she's needed, in my opinion. But these characters don't really resemble much of themselves, except for Wolverine. He's the only one that seems recognizable to me. But I do. It's not the greatest art ever, but it's for this book, I don't expect, it's not an X-Men book. You know, I was more critical about X-Men #1 because it's X-Men. This is just a knockoff book, but I think this art is better than X-Men, so that's just my opinion. Obviously, you can see for yourself. You can be your own judge and your own taste of what you like. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the book. I would say, like, objectively, like a 3-star. Still wouldn't recommend it, but I think your average normie fan is probably going to read this and be like, it was all right. And then I have my own personal taste that I'm just like, nope, not for me. All right, so thanks for listening this far. Hopefully I didn't piss anyone off with my opinions. Remember, they're only opinions. Just because I don't like something doesn't mean you have to dislike it as well, or that if you disagree that there doesn't have to, it's just thoughts. It's diversity of thought. Let's all embrace it. And hope you'll join me again next time. I'll see you next week for another X book. Take care.